Focus groups are a great way to collect data from groups of people. Focus groups often consist of small groups of 5 to 12 participants, and they're focused on one goal. One of the most important things for a focus group is to have a facilitator who is knowledgeable about the topic and prepared to guide the conversation. Some things focus groups are useful for include collecting current performance data and validating results, planning and designing new programs, identifying potential solutions, and analyzing strengths and weaknesses of potential solutions. Some other things that they're good at include giving information on how groups of people think or feel about a particular topic, and they can also give great insight into why certain opinions are held. However, focus groups are not good at validating information about individuals, gathering before and after information about how things have changed over time, or information gathering to apply to a large group of people. Focus groups are used in multiple areas, including market research, education, product design, healthcare, human performance activity, and many others. There are a variety of different versions of these steps about how to conduct a focus group. I settled on this one from the Wallace Foundation. I think all these steps are important, but order doesn't matter so much as long as you're paying attention to what you're doing before, during, and after the focus group. I'm working with a team from the Human Resources Department in CMS to study high-performing teacher retention in Title I schools. We've pulled information from these teachers based on insight survey and teacher performance, and we're in the middle of organizing the focus groups to interview these teachers at these Title I schools to determine what's keeping them at their schools. The team is using a guide from the New York City Department of Education for best practices in conducting focus groups, as well as a feedback collection tool from the same group. We haven't started the focus group interviews yet, but we are in the process of finalizing our guide and reaching out to schools to schedule these dates during the month of October. This information from the focus groups is going to be used to develop action plans for principals to work on increasing retention of these high-performing teachers at their Title I schools. There are a lot of advantages of doing focus groups. A focus group discussion allows members of the group to build on each other's comments and get more information out of the participants. It can also help researchers get more data more quickly than individual interviews. They're also relatively easy to conduct. There's not a ton of preparation, and pulling groups of people together is usually not too difficult. Another important advantage is that researchers can ask follow-up questions based on participants' responses, and they can also get a good idea of participants' verbal responses, especially seeing if they match what the participants are saying. They can also use the actual words from the respondents in the data, which helps them make important connections between ideas. They're also very flexible, and they can be used with a wide variety of topics and peoples and settings. And results are pretty easy to understand by a general audience because the participants are often from that general audience. Some disadvantages of focus groups are that the researcher has less control over the group and the information that they provide. Oftentimes, the participants can get off topic, and then you end up with information that doesn't align with what you actually need. Data analysis of focus groups can be hard because you're getting so much data and you have to listen and code everything. Focus group data is also hard to generalize to the greater population. You really get a good image of what it's like for this small group, but not for a large group. Accuracy of participants may also be skewed, especially when they are in groups with people that they are either uncomfortable with or comfortable with, and they're saying things that they think that other people might want to hear. And oftentimes there can be unequal participation between the members during the conversations. You have people who kind of take over the conversation and others who don't get to speak at all. So, because of all those things, you need a facilitator who is experienced to be able to manage those group dynamics. Here are a couple of additional resources that I found that I will link. I think they'll be very helpful for anybody trying to use focus groups when working with schools and teachers.